Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Batman and Robin #1. This is a new book from DC Comics. Batman Day's coming, Batman Day. This is pretty much a Batman week for the reviews as well. All the books are kind of Batman related that I'm reviewing. So let's take a look at the creative team behind this book before we get into it. This is written by Joshua Williamson with art and colors by Simone DeMeo, letters by Steve Wands. We'll see some really cool covers at the end of the video. In this book, father and son, Bruce and Damian, Batman and Robin. From Batman vs. Robin to Night Terrors, a lot has happened to the dynamic duo, but now they are back together and ready to fight crime in Gotham. Just in time for Batman's most monstrous rogues to team up and turn the city into an urban jungle. A new villain watches from the shadows, intent on revenge, with a plot to turn one of Batman's greatest assets against them. Can Damian help his father solve the case before it's too late? A brand new, fun, and exciting father and son adventure from DC Comics architect Joshua Williamson and superstar artist Simone DeMeo. I forgot this book was coming out because there's been so much stuff happening with Batman. If you're checking out some of the, whether you're checking out the main series with Chip Zdarsky or some of the Black Label books like Gargoyle of Gotham, there's a lot happening. There's a lot of Batman to go around, which I'll never complain about. Now, when I do show the preview art, it's a little bit out of order just because we have a splash page in between that I wanted to show you as well. But I love Simone DeMeo's art. I really enjoy Joshua Williamson when he approaches these characters. I really like the way he writes Damian as well. It's fun to see. This book can get a little lighthearted when it comes to the relationship between Bruce and Damian and having to live together. And, Damian is still a child, like he's a kid. And Bruce is trying to raise him the best that he can. So there's definitely, we definitely look into that. For a little bit, Damian has to move in with Bruce, but they don't live in the mansion anymore. There's been so much tension between them for the last few things, especially after Alfred's passing. So yeah, we get introduced to maybe a new villain that I wasn't very familiar with. You'll see when we get to the cover section, this White Rabbit character. So yeah, overall, this was fun. This was just a fun book to get into, and I love when books explore the relationship between Bruce and Damian. I will say Simone DeMeo draws Damian a little bit. He seems a little bit younger than what we had left him. Some of the previous artists. His hair, it was very reminiscent of Tim Drake. That was the only thing where I wanted, like, his outfit is definitely Damian, but when he's in Robin form, it's like his hair is very, very reminiscent of Tim Drake's, whereas some of the artists usually draw Damian's hair a little bit spiky and like, kind of like up. In this one, he has kind of like the part in the middle that Tim Drake is kind of known for. I would say that this is the biggest complaint I have with this book. Everything else was really cool. Very cool action. Very much. You'll see some dynamic poses here. So let's get into the art. I love setting up here this shot of the Gotham Zoo and the introduction of this kind of new villain. And Batman and Robin come crashing in. There's a splash page in between these two pages, which you'll see in a second. But I just want to show you the fights, the cool angles, like just a lot of fun. I love when it's just like a limb coming off the panel, right? You don't need to see the whole body like throwing the kick. But here's a splash page that's kind of in between those two. And I don't know if you can see what I was talking about with Damian's hair. But other than that, I mean, this looks fantastic. I love the outfit. I love the poses. I love kind of the paneling as they come in. So this is probably going to be a really, really fun run. So if you pick this up, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Batman Gargoyle of Gotham #1. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this review. This is written and with art by Rafael Grampa, with colors by Mateus Lopez and letters by John Workman. We have a lot of different cool variant covers that you'll see some at the end of the video, including work by Frank Miller, Paul Pope, Priscilla Preteris, Jim Lee, David Finch, and Jacques. So a lot of really, really fun stuff in the covers there. But we'll take a look at some of those after that. So I'm very excited about this book. I will tell you this: the scheduled date for this is technically September 16 because it is Batman Day. But as of if you're watching this, today is new comic book day for DC, right? So I'm putting out this review now. Whether your shop has this available now or you'll have to come back later this week, that remains to be seen. I'll check online as well for the digital options. So I don't know. I don't know I don't know when the exact release date for this will be. Sometimes in the comic industry, there's some miscommunication there, but uh, either way, I'm very excited for this. I love Black Label titles. You guys know that those are my jam. They have yet to really miss. And like there's a handful at the most that I know that are probably not up my alley, but for the most part, Black Label has been killing it, giving like artists the flexibility to do whatever they want with these iconic characters. So let's see what's going to happen to Batman on this one. When you chase your own shadow, it leads into the abyss in a Gotham City where every day feels darker and more irredeemable than the last. Batman makes a definitive choice to kill off Bruce Wayne identity for good and embrace the Cull full time. But though he knows the streets of Gotham, Batman will soon come to find that he hardly knows himself. A serial killer is on the loose, and while the murder victims seem random at first, every clue draws Batman closer to the terrifying truth that they are all connected, and not just to each other, but to him. When an all-new rogues gallery of utterly depraved villains begins to emerge from the depths of the city, Batman will have to contend with the very nature of evil, including that which lurks inside the darkest corners of his own heart, to face what's coming for his city. Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham, is a twisted vision of the Dark Knight and the Gotham to life in a DC writing debut from Rafael Grampa. Very, very cool stuff. There's a little trailer out for this as well that is very cool. So yeah, I was very excited to read this, and this book did not disappoint. I will tell you this up front: this book is very much for mature readers, very violent. There's a lot of mature themes and stuff like that on here, so I definitely don't recommend this for anyone that is not looking to dive and explore some of those things. And you'll see when I pull up some of the preview art as well. But I think Grandpa is a really good artist. He has a very distinct style that lends itself to this type of more gruesome, dark tone and theme, and also the exploration of Batman in this book. I think it lends itself back to some of the more classic stuff like Dark Knight Returns and stuff like that, where let's put Batman in one of the worst situations manageable and then see what happens. Can he overcome that darkness himself? So and the tone of the book as well, Lopez's colors are very desaturated, they're very dark, very cold in tone. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's check out some preview art here. I think overall the imagery here very much tells you this city is pretty messed up, really fucked up. Overall, like just as you kind of get into it, I love the pacing of these first few pages. It feels like you're diving deeper and deeper into the underbelly of this darker version of Gotham City. So definitely, like I said, this is more mature. This is more. It's not a happy-go-lucky book. This is not a book where you'll see a Batman that will probably just overcome whatever he, without losing something of himself. Because it looks like, to me, he has already lost a lot, including the will to continue to be Bruce Wayne, as we talked about earlier. So And yeah, I love these shots here where we have this Batman Dark in the corner. You only see the outline of him, like just very cool, very dramatic. Also, the introduction of this new villain who is very much a dark reflection of Batman, right? I think not so much in the um, physical aspect of it, but just more in the motivation that he has. So I don't want to give too much away, but this one definitely it's something else. It's definitely more dark than I was expecting, more brooding, more violent, and even just the approach to Batman almost feels a little foreign to me. Like this is an extreme version of Batman, like maybe the worst version of Batman that could be happening because of the way that the city's turned. So, all that being said, I really enjoyed the first issue. I can't wait to keep reading more. The mystery definitely feels very David Fincher, very much like Seven or something like that, or Zodiac, which are things that I really like. Those are mysteries that are quite entertaining and enjoyable for the right mood and the right time. And this just kind of hit the spot as we kind of prepare for that. So really cool stuff. I can't wait to check this out. First of all, physically, I think the art is going to pop even more in the physical format, but also just to see what other things people have to say about this, because I really think it's a really interesting approach and a really fun approach to exploring how we can really stretch out the character of Batman. So, all that being said, um, yeah, recommend it. Like if you're a Batman completionist, you know you're gonna pick this up. But I highly, highly recommend it. So, as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye. Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Batman Incorporated number 12. This is the last issue of this series. I will tell you up front, one of my favorite Batman Incorporated runs. I know there hasn't been many, and Morrison stuff is fantastic, but this is a completely different thing, completely different characters. But let's talk about the creative team real quick. This is written by Ed Brisson with art by John Timms, colors by Rex Locus, letters by Clinton Cull. In this issue, Batman Incorporated no more, as the Joker Incorporated storyline comes to its bloody conclusion. Batman Incorporated is left divided. They've crossed lines they swore they never would in the name of protecting the innocent, and now they're left to cope with the fallout. They may have won the battle, but did they win the war with the Joker? I mean, putting Batman Incorporated against the Joker and all these Joker Incorporated characters from all over the world, it was a really, really fun premise. Like, just straight up, very much like, especially John Tim's art, like his design of the characters is very cool. We introduced so many new characters. We brought back so many new characters in this run, or so many old characters in this run. And yeah, Ed Brisson just knows how to deliver a fun story full of stakes, full of action, full of some good emotional beats, some funny moments as well, and some moments that are pretty messed up. So this book kind of had everything. But let me pull up some preview art here. And as you can see, John Timms is just great at doing this. Like, whether it's the big explosion in the first few pages, or the intimidation here as we see Dusty Bronco getting the snot beat out of him, and you know, like, will these characters cross that line that Batman has kind of set in the sand, right? Ghostmaker promised Batman that as long as he was working as Batman Incorporated, they would not cross that one line that he has, right? The rule that Batman has. So, and then yeah, we get to see we really touch on every character that we have met throughout this run. Some really great introductions. You know, whether it's somebody old like the character of Knight or El Gaucho, to somebody newer like Grey Wolf. So overall, This has been really fun. I really enjoyed this run. Like this whole Joker Incorporated storyline was a lot of fun. It was very messed up at some moments, full of twists and turns, and it almost felt like Saw at some points. Like the Joker went full psycho on this one. So yeah, I think Ed Brisson and the team just did a really good job bringing this story to life, making me care about these characters, and then coming to a resolution for the team at some point, right? Whether they're going to keep working together or not, like you'll just have to read to find that out. But even for those that have decided to move forward or move on, you get a little bit of a taste of what may be in the future for them. So very cool stuff. A lot of really cool characters. Excellent art. So like I could not ask for anything more out of a Batman Incorporated story. So very excited to have read this. Let me know what you thought about the series overall. Let me know what you thought about this issue if you read it. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here on the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for The Cull #2. This is a new book from ImageComics. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Kelly Thompson with art and colors by Mattia Di Giulis and letters by Hassan Otsmane El Hau. After the fantastic debut issue that was #1, if you haven't picked up this comic book, please go do so. It is one of the best things out there right now. Kelly Thompson is just bringing us this really cool sci-fi kind of story mixed with this like interpersonal group of friends that are getting through their own personal issues. They each have stuff going on in their lives. There's tragedy in one of them. There's a lot of stuff going on in the first issue that comes out about this group of friends. But the cool thing is that they decide to be there for each other. So let's talk about this specific issue. In this issue, Cleo's confession elicits more fear than anger from the group, and everyone sticks together into the great unknown. Sentient mushrooms for everyone. So as you know, the first issue, Cleo kind of tricked everyone into coming along to this, make a film, but they're really going on this trip to another dimension that recently discovered. So it is such a strange story as we get into it. Once you go through the cave, and it takes a little while. The pacing of this issue is very fun because it's slow enough that you get to live in the minds of these characters for a moment. But then things start escalating very quickly as you step into the unknown, and the group is trying to figure out, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to abandon their friend, or are they going to keep going forward? Because it is scary, right? This is like going for sure into the unknown. And if once you look at the art, you'll see exactly why you'd be hesitant to go in there. So let's take a look at some of the preview art. Speaking of that, I think my take on this is that the art is in such a way that is striving for a very realistic look, but something's off a little bit, and I think that adds to the tone of it. It's a little bit of uncanny valley, but it adds to the tone and the feel of the book. There's something askew, there's something off, there's something that we don't really know the full story, and I think that's what it's eliciting, some of those feelings of dread and fear and tension. Kelly Thompson does this tension in such a good roundabout way. Like, it's not straightforward in your face where like danger presents itself immediately. It's more like you start digging and the hole gets deeper and deeper, and you don't know that you are so far into the hole. Like, by the time you realize it may be too late. So, and as we said here, as we step into this world, it's so different, and this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the art. There's so much more. I also love how sarcastic, like, Hassan's letters are so much fun, and like some of these word bubbles, they really portray the there's a lot of dialogue here, so you have to make sure that, first of all, are you pointing to the right person? Make sure it's easy and accessible to read that. But then, even with the sarcasm here in the last panel at the bottom, or as they explore, like the letters and the bubbles never feel like they're on the way. Like, yeah, it is just such a great adventure. And things get more dangerous, things get a little sexy because this is a group of young people. So yeah, it's just been a great approach to this series. So I'm so excited to read the next. So I guess I'll say this: my one complaint is that once I get to the end of the issue, I want to read the next one, and we are getting this in a monthly basis. Although I believe it was 3 weeks before this one came out, so maybe it'll be a little bit of an accelerated monthly. We'll see. We'll see. You never know with these, with comics publishers. So very fun stuff. Highly recommend this. One of the best things out there in comic books in your shelves at the moment. So as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for The Alternates #1. This is a book from the world of minor threats from DarkHorseComics. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book has a script by Pan Oswald, Jordan Bloom, and Tim Seeley. So Oswald and Bloom coming back from Minor Threats and bringing in Tim Seeley. We also have art by a couple different artists. Christopher Minton and Ian Herring on the colors there, and then Tess Fowler doing art and colors for a few of the pages. We also have Nate Picos of Blindbot on letters. So what is this book exactly? Let me give you a quick synopsis here. If you haven't read Minor Threats, I recommend you check it out. I'm actually not quite done with that book, but I wanted to check this one out. I don't think you fully need to finish the story, but I think it'll give you a lot more context for some of the events that are happening. So, in this issue, Mary, the multi-monster, the Tripper, Crab Louie, Kid Curious, Persona, formerly the offbeat B-list superheroes, the Alternates, who seemingly sacrificed themselves to stop an invasion from another dimension. Instead, they were transported to a mirror reality where they live complex lives in a more four-dimensional existence, expanding both their powers and consciousness. 5 years later, they return to Twilight City, struggling to reacclimate to their old lives in traditional two-dimensional superhero world, in withdrawal from the vivid ones they left behind. When elements from alternate reality turn up and as a dangerous new street drug, some of the heroes band together to destroy it, while others succumb to temptation. Uh, what an interesting premise! Because even if you haven't read Minor Threats, I think the overall themes of the story are about coping with trauma, maybe even coping with addiction. There's definitely a lot of that imagery here in this book. There is kind of a support group for these heroes, but also this is all kind of augmented by, like, wait a minute, this is a superhero world. There's superhero things happening, and there's a little bit of meta commentary and all that. So let's go take a look at the preview art here, because I really like how we very quickly dive into the action here. We have the first couple of pages look like a very normal colored superhero book. We have a little bit of dialogue, and then comes in this part. This is the part where things go off the rail in the last panel, the last page. And as they kind of start freaking out, this reveal of, like, the car crashing with all the other stuff around it, like, it was confusing until you get the full context of what's going on. But it looks great. I think it looks fantastic. Just vivid colors that really are in contrast with the more muted tones that we see earlier in the panels. And then we have the animal imagery that's kind of playing in the background as well. You'll eventually figure out what's going on with the story. I don't want to give too much away. Also, we get little synopsis of like these characters, as I mentioned in the opening, and you get to see a little bit of an illustrated form of what they are, who they are, as they are introducing themselves in this like support group that they have together. But sometimes some of these people don't really feel like they need to be there. Maybe they feel like they're coping with it better. So I don't know. It's really interesting. It's a really interesting approach to comic book storytelling, to superhero comics. It feels different. It feels like something I haven't read in the past, and the fact that these heroes all have very weird and interesting and just fun abilities that can change at they're kind of constantly evolving. I don't know, I really appreciated that, so highly recommend this one out. I will say this might be something that I do read in a collection, so I think I want to finish Minor Threats first, and then go back to read this. But highly recommend it. I think the whole creative team, I'm a big fan of Tim Seeley in comics, but seeing Jordan Bloom and Patton Oswalt step into this world is really fun. And then just great talent when it comes to the art. I'm familiar with Tess Fowler. I'm not as familiar with Christopher Min, but if this is what they're bringing to the pages, like consider me a fan. So highly recommend you check this out. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for the Enfield Gang Massacre #2. This is a story from Dat Texas Blood. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this issue. This book is written by Chris Condon with art by Jacob Phillips and color assist by Pip Martin. I love the old school newspaper, like news ad, magazine ad of the feel, like of the credits. I think that's such a fun layout. And yeah, everything that this book does, it's kind of like that. It's just very well planned out, as you saw in the first issue. So in this issue, accused of murder and hunted by a Texas Ranger, the Enfield gang attempts to escape. Boy, do they ever. So this is very quickly becoming something that I look forward to, like the next episode of one of my favorite, like no, like this is kind of like the next. I'm waiting for this as much as I wait for the next episode of like the Prestige HBO show that I'm watching. That's the caliber of this, and it's hard. I mean, it's tough to compare comics to TV, but that's just my anticipation level. I'm like, I need to get this next one. I need to know what happens, because there's going to be mystery and adventure, and then there's like violence and the beautiful colors. So let's get into looking at some of the art here. As you can see here, and these pages are a little bit out of context, but I love even the horror kind of vibes that we're getting from here. The great lettering, just really powerful imagery. Like this face with very little, like mostly shaded with just a smile. It is unhinged. Like it just brings the tension. It brings the urgency of what's going on. I think I really appreciate how the art really makes it feel urgent, and how everything looks, for the most part, monochromatic in some of these pages, because it is nighttime. It is the Old West. There wouldn't be light sources everywhere, but the blood is very clear, right? And then we get to an image, like a page like this, a 2-page spread of a shootout. Like there is so much going on in this. Like you have the lady running up the stairs, everybody kind of shooting out. I love seeing the decor of the bar, people trying to get out of the way, the look of worry here. Like this is, and just all the bullet sounds at the top, like sound effects galore. Like look at this guy at the top corner in the light outfit. Is he shooting with his gun upside down? What the hell's happening? So like it makes it feel real, makes it feel lived in. Like it makes it feel really fun. Like I said, great sense of urgency, a little bit of like the horror vibes because of this nightmares that we're experiencing and seeing from the point of view of these characters. So yeah, this one's really fun. This is going to be such a fun collection when it's all done. I can't wait to see where this goes. because I feel like the payoff is going to be a lot of fun. So if you have read this issue, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bang. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for a new comic book from DynamiteComics, Negaduck #1. This is a new book here coming out this week. This is written by Jeff Parker with art by Ciro Canglialosi. I haven't been following all of the Disney Darkwing Duck books, but I think Negaduck is a very interesting character. It's really fun. I mean, obviously, watching this as a kid was a lot of fun. So I wanted to at least check out this first issue. There's some really cool covers for this book, which you'll see at the end of the video. But let's talk a little bit about what to expect from this book before we talk about the review. So written with fiendish glee by art author Jeff Parker and illustrated by the talented Ciro Canglialosi. Hopefully I'm saying that properly. Negaduck features a regular rogues gallery of cover artists, including Joshua Middleton, Jay Lee, Trish Forstner, and special whiteout homage cover by the series creator Steve Lieber. I'm the screeching fingernail on the chalkboard of justice. I'm the sour ball candy in the jar. I am Negaduck. He's the exact opposite of Darkwing Duck in every way: evil, nefarious, dedicated to stealing lollipops from kids and not helping grandmas cross the street. And now he's ready to begin a reign of crime and terror the likes of Saint Canard has never seen, except that all the other villains are ripping off his ideas. What's a criminal mastermind to do when the city's thick with other criminals stealing his shine? Why take his villainy on the road, of course? This is a really interesting approach to this. Obviously, I mean, Negaduck is supposed to be the complete opposite of Darkwing Duck, and I think Jeff Parker really captures that fun element from the animated series, and the characters, like, just this kind of a ridiculous premise of Negaduck is on the road, has to go on the road because there's not enough crime to be committed in the city. That's really great. So let's pull up some preview art, and I'll keep talking about this book. And as you can see here, I think the art team really captures the essence of what I think a book like this should feel like. It's very colorful. It's very bright. It's full of like ridiculous looking stuff. Like the expressions are very much exaggerated. The little panels I love here. The panel where he's kind of angry because his plans are going awry, and then just him overseeing the city, and even the little circle here pointing out, like highlighting the crime, how he's stealing the the picnic basket, and then just I love panels like this where we just see his face. So this is really, really fun stuff. I think this book really, if I had a checklist of all the things I wanted to see on a Negaduck book, it would be this. Now, this isn't something that I normally like read on a like I said, I'm not reading the current Darkwing Duck, but I remember enjoying the character of Negaduck even more. So I definitely want to check this out. I think I'm just going to wait for the collection to get the full story of like all the shenanigans that happen on the road. But as I mentioned, the art is beautiful and magnificent, and it just fits the story. And Jeff Parker really captures their voice and their ridiculousness. I can't show you the preview pages that I have don't have like the lettering, but that's also a great aspect of this. And of course, seeing all the different interpretations by all these artists and the covers, it's really, really fun stuff. So if you pick this up, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Kill More #1 from IDW. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Scott Bryan Wilson, with art by Max Allen Fuchs, Valentina Brisky on colors, and letters by Goran Suduska. So this is a book that I wanted to check out. I've read stuff by Scott Bryan Wilson before, and like True Cult, and I really enjoy that. And I wanted to check this out. I will tell you this: I was not the cover. The cover is very off-putting to me. That was already something that I knew this book may not be fully up my alley. As much as as well done as the book may be, I don't know if it's going to be fully up my alley. So let me give you a quick synopsis, and then we'll talk more about this book. The city of Colonia is suffering from total economic collapse, but worse than the unemployment and urban decay is the skyrocketing homicide rate. Most of the few cops left on the force think it's just another symptom of the city's decline, but one detective has a darker theory that the most depraved killers in the country have all moved here to take advantage of the chaos. As he and his new partner dig into the rapidly growing list of open cases, they'll find themselves in the crosshair of a growing group of maniacs who realize that the best way to stay ahead of the city, of the cops of a city full of killers, is to kill more. Nothing can prepare you for the lady face masher, the sufferer, the obituary machine, and worse, lock your doors and journey to the mouth of madness from this new series from writer Scott Bryan Wilson and Max Allen Fuchs. So, yeah, this series got very intense very quickly. Let me pull up some preview art, and I'll talk a little bit more about this. And this is just kind of like a establishing shot. It's almost like a credits page, but I wanted to bring it up because it's part of the preview, and also I wanted to show you like the intensity of what the team is trying to establish here. We get a shot of the city, but on top of that, we get the title of the book that's really like kind of faded into the background, right? You see the air pollution here kind of covering it up. I don't know. Tonally, it helps establish what you're about to get into. Even after seeing that a very, very intense cover. And we are right on it. Like the first page, we have Ethel, who just runs over someone, and look how gory it is. I do appreciate the paneling and the pacing here. Like, it goes from 4 panels to 3 to 2 to this one big shot. Like, that's just good stuff for you to like follow along, like and kind of slow down, take a look at all the art and the pacing. And then we get a few walk and talks here as we meet the detectives that are going to be kind of like following along in the story, and we see one of their suspects, the giraffe. So this book has a lot going for it. It has very interesting characters. It has a problem that it's very difficult to solve, very intricate. You can take a lot of ways. I will say it's a little bit too gruesome for my taste. I think it's very over the top, but I think if that's something you enjoy, this book definitely nailed that. So don't be discouraged. I think this book is very well put together. It's a very well done book. It's accomplishing everything that it's trying to do, including show that level of gore, the violence, and bringing you into this world full of chaos. Now, that's not always up my alley, and that's probably the reason I didn't fully connect with this. I'll probably revisit this as a trade, but I wanted to talk about it because, like, just as a book itself, it's very well done. It accomplishes the goals that it sets out to do, even if one of those goals was to just make me not want to keep reading immediately. But I think the mystery is going to be a lot of fun. I can see that there's going to be so many more characters that are going to be very weird and quirky and violent and just kind of fun to follow around. I think from reading to Cult, I think Scott Bryan Wilson is very good at doing that kind of stuff, like that character work. And like I said, the art just really takes it over the top. So very well done book. Not exactly my cup of tea, but there it is. So coming out this week from IDW. If you have read this book, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.